Cut. Check. That's it. All right, I got to put the sweatband on for this one because this is an intense one. This is going to require some elite mathematics. All right, we're good. Okay. Second principle, which I'm really excited about, and I hope there will be benefit in it for you. We're going to call this the critical mass of difficulty, aka the breakthrough. Excuse my writing. I didn't get my pen license till I was in year 4. I'm going to draw a really fucked up graph, but you're going to have to bear with me. This is our graph, okay? I got on this one. I didn't pass science. We're going to have mind on this axis here, and we're going to have difficulty on this axis here. Don't get too caught up in, oh my god, the x-axis is meant to turn.
Doesn't matter.
Don't get caught up in the axes. Just hear my words, let them penetrate. Do a couple nasal deep breaths. In what I've experienced, and I'm just having a stab at how this might actually operate, it feels like it's a part of the DNA. The difficulty is increasing. And so is the level of mind. As the difficulty is increasing, the mind has to rise to meet the difficulty. You reach this little juicy circle here. We're going to call this point here the critical mass. This is where you've reached the amount of difficulty to cause the reaction. You spring from this point here like a trampoline. In a very radical move, you overcome this difficulty and you come back here. Back to 0 difficulty, but a new level of mind. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. The other option is you reach the critical mass of difficulty, your perception of the suffering becomes too much, and you retreat from it, and then you come down here. You bring the mind back down, it retreats, but the difficulty is slightly further along. I'm about to explain it. Okay, so you don't actually get back to 0 difficulty when you retreat. You actually go further along the difficulty, but with the same level of mind. The suffering or the difficulty is reached this boiling point. You experience this as a real problem. If you understand and you recognize this problem, what ends up happening is when you get here, you solve this. You solve the problem. You have a breakthrough. So you get through here, the critical mass, the suffering gets to such a point that there's no escape. There's no hiding from it anymore. Something has to happen, okay? Because you've amassed so much energy behind it.
Yeah.
That what ends up happening is this point, this line here represents solving the problem and getting to a new level of mind.
Yeah.
The problem serves a function of creating a new level of mind. And I'm going to quote Einstein. You know, Einstein said that problems can't be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. It's bringing you to this point, right, where the problem is so much that it needs to be solved. And by solving it, you reach a new level of consciousness where your mind goes up, but the difficulty gets reduced. You see it now. Yeah. From our brother Einstein, that problems can't be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. You're going along the path. The difficulty is amassing until you reach the critical mass. That's the minimum amount of energy required to start this new chain reaction. Once you get there, you fully accept that the reaction is about to occur. You experience a breakthrough by solving the problem, which takes you to a new level of consciousness with reduced difficulty. This is here to benefit me and take me to a new level. Because once I solve this problem that I probably created for myself, my mind will be at a different level. The same level of mind that is creating the problem can't be the same level of mind that solves it. Now let me explain to you how retreating from the difficulty brings you only back to the same level of mind, but further along the difficulty spectrum. So you're here, you get to the critical mass, and instead of accepting it, you freak out, you think it's a bad thing.
I've done this.
So you bring yourself back down, you squash yourself, and you might use, whatever, TV, porn, food, all sorts of sensory stimulation to reduce the suffering, just in hopes it's like a band-aid. But really, you're shortcutting this natural process, and you're doing it right. The mind is still in its infancy, right? You haven't let it grow. But it's more difficult, and it's more difficult because it's our nature to be called up this spectrum. So you create internal friction with yourself when you don't let this natural process happen. And you feel worse about it because you know deep down that you're called upwards and you're stopping the process. That's what moves you further along this difficulty. So what ends up happening is you have it again, and instead of leapfrogging up and solving the problem and feeling kind of your own internal guidance system patting you on the back and saying, yeah, you're doing what's natural for you, you retreat again, but you're still further along the difficulty, further along the same level of infinite mind, but further along the difficulty.
And this is where it gets scary.
And then the methods to bring yourself down get more drastic because they don't work. Right here it might have been a movie, then it was porn, then it was food, then it was meth,
drugs,
then it was porn, food and meth, and prostitutes, and people get in some really fucked up places. What I want to say about this, I'm gonna have a story that has always resonated with me one here, right? Understand that this is right here, this is our nature, bro. I'm just speculating, I'm just trying to work out the equation. Problems are encoded into the nature of our lives to move us up this scale of mind. The mathematics of it is, great design of it is, problems, when we solve them, we create new levels of mind. If we didn't experience any difficulty, maybe we wouldn't move up this path. A story that I heard, I don't know who actually came up with it. This is a happy butterfly. Okay. What I think about when I think of these retreats, right? I think of two things. Rescue yourself.
Is that in meditations or?
No, I think it's in from Letters from a Stoic.
Oh, yeah.
Rescue yourself from allowing yourself to do this. Number one key. Other story I think of is a story of the butterfly. Butterfly's coming out of its cocoon, and there's a dude there and he's watching it, and he sees how much it's struggling. Yeah. So what it ends up doing is it ends up helping the butterfly come out of its cocoon. And then he's watching this butterfly. He was waiting for the butterfly to just jump up and fly around. But then the butterfly was just like crawling on the floor with tiny shriveled up wings because he helped it. He didn't allow the natural process to occur when it came out of the cocoon. So he actually fucked it up. So it just spent the rest of its life on the floor with little shriveled up wings and it couldn't fly. In this situation where both the butterfly to be and the person watching the butterfly. So we're watching ourselves go through the difficulty and we think, okay, let's rescue ourselves. But really, we're inhibiting our own growth. Oh my God, look, the difficulty, I can see myself going through difficulty. It's so painful. I want to help myself. So then we help ourselves, aka not letting the butterfly actually fully emerge from the cocoon, which ends up shriveling our wings, and then we can't fly through life. I need another hit of vitamin D. So we already got that. We got that, and then we've got the critical mass difficulty, aka the breakthrough. Main takeaway from the critical mass difficulty, aka the breakthrough, is to come out of it recognizing that problems serve the function of calling your mind upwards while simultaneously reducing the difficulty you experience. Don't be the limp butterfly. Rescue yourself. And you don't rescue yourself by trying to help yourself with petty ways. You rescue yourself by fully accepting it. To me, that's the warrior status. You want to be fucking spiritual warrior? I got it. Spiritual warrior gets to this point and he just goes, you know what? Fuck it, I'm about to have a breakthrough, and just fully just accepts it. He offers up not 1 ounce of resistance to the situation. And even more so, he thinks in his own mind and he prays and he says, I'm so grateful that this is happening to me, and I'm so happy that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is putting this in my path to make me a stronger and better individual. He's actually an elite spiritual gymnastic person, and he does 3 fucking backflip spins, and he reaches here and he has a breath of fresh air and he experiences, let's talk Islamic doctrine, verily after hardship comes ease.